Straight ahead on 12 News, staying active, even in retirement.
Intellectually, it's still very stimulating.
How baby boomers are finding meaningful part-time work. Then, one of the most congested spots in all of Plymouth. Now there's a plan to create more room. But first, Robbinsdale police investigate a robbery and stabbing.
It's still frightening for all of us.
12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. Robbinsdale police are asking for the public's help after a man was stabbed and robbed.
The incident happened Friday in the 3400 block of Halifax Avenue North. As Sonia Goins reports, the victim was about to celebrate a promotion on his job when he was attacked.
It's unsettling because I have small children in the neighborhood.
Scary stuff.
Keeping close tabs on what goes on is going to be paramount going forward.
This quiet Robbinsdale neighborhood is on alert after police say a 45-year-old man was attacked and robbed.
Unsettling, to know that something like that would happen in a neighborhood where we know almost everybody. And
Certainly scary. Because I know they have family over there and stuff, and I got a family too.
Oh, I freaked out.
Jose says his father-in-law had just gotten off work and was parking the car when he was attacked.
He pulled up in here with the car, and he had dropped his phone in between the seats. And so when he was bending down to try to find his phone, he got hit in the head.
He says two men then dragged his father-in-law out of the car and robbed him of $800. And that wasn't all they did to him.
Stabbed him in the stomach, lower stomach. It was just about 1 inch, 2 inch deep, but it still got cut.
Jose says his father-in-law was an easy target because of the surroundings.
This whole block here is very dark. There's no post lights and stuff. So, everybody needs to be aware because it could just happen to anybody.
And this wasn't the first incident. About a week ago, two men tried to break through the front door.
An incident like this in Robbinsdale is rare.
Police are asking neighbors to be more vigilant. Meanwhile, they have increased patrols in the area.
We've been advising our officers to be more visible in the area through extra patrols. Yesterday we were even on foot in the neighborhood as well.
As for the victim's family, they're just glad he's going to be okay.
Could have been worse. Thank God it wasn't, but it could have been worse.
In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
And police say they believe this was a random attack. The victim was taken to North Memorial, where he was treated and released. If you have any information, you are asked to call police. All is now clear on Highway 100 in Robbinsdale. Both directions of the highway had been shut down around 2:30 Monday afternoon between 36th and 42nd Avenues. As police responded to an incident involving a person on the 36th Avenue bridge. It took about 40 minutes to get the situation under control and reopen all lanes of traffic.
Authorities have now identified the man killed at a Brooklyn Center motel last month. 47-year-old Michael Genty of Bloomington died Saturday, January 31st at the Super 8 motel. The medical examiner says he died of multiple blunt force injuries. Authorities are calling the case a homicide. Charges are pending against a man in the case. The New Hope City Council will meet tonight, Monday evening. It is the first time since a man entered City Hall 2 weeks ago and shot two New Hope police officers outside the council chambers.
68-year-old Raymond Kometz was shot and killed by another officer. Authorities say Kometz had a history of mental illness. Cassie Bonstrom joins us now with more on how the city is preparing for tonight's meeting. Cassie?
Well, New Hope Mayor Kathy Hopkins says January 26th was a surreal night, one they will never forget. But rather than focusing on what happened, they want to move forward.
We intend to acknowledge what happened and to thank the supporters and then move on with the council meeting.
Many of the items on tonight's meeting agenda were supposed to be covered 2 weeks ago when the meeting was abruptly interrupted by gunshots outside of the chambers. When the council gathers again tonight, making sure everyone feels safe is their top priority. The police chief will now sit at the city council desk, and several other officers will be posted outside of the chambers.
I'm very, very proud of the community, not only of my staff and my council and the police department, but the whole community has just stepped up to help wherever they could. This was an incident that was isolated. I don't expect that it'll happen again. And I feel quite confident of going forward.
Now, in addition to the police on duty there, Officer Bo Schoenhardt, one of the officers that was injured that night, will also be in attendance. Though still recovering at home, Schoenhardt says he wants to show his city councilors that he is there to support them, just as they have supported him throughout this ordeal, Mike.
All right, Cassie, thank you. Brooklyn Park is expected to hire a search firm to find a new city manager. Jamie Verbrugge held the job since 2008, but left to take the city manager's position in Bloomington. The Brooklyn Park City Council will vote tonight on whether to hire a St. Paul search firm at a cost of up to $20,000. Mike Sable is currently serving as the city's interim city manager.
A plan to create more parking spaces on a heavily used lot in Plymouth makes its way to the City Council this week. The parking lot shared by Lifetime Fitness and the Plymouth Ice Arena reaches peak demand on evenings and weekends during the winter months. As a result, visitors occasionally find themselves having to search for street parking. Tuesday, the council will review plans to add 101 additional parking stalls, make landscape enhancements, and also improve traffic flow.
Because of that popularity, there are sometimes pinch points in parking, and we want to make sure that everyone's happy and can find a place to park.
The estimated cost is $900,000. The expense would be shared between the city and Lifetime Fitness. City staff hope construction will begin this summer.
Bargain hunters now have a new place to shop in the northwest suburbs. The new Goodwill outlet store has opened on the site of the former Knox Lumber building along West Broadway Avenue in Brooklyn Park. The shop sells items that were not purchased at any of the regular Goodwill stores. Shoppers can find great deals on everything from clothing, toys, electronics, and furniture. And most of the items here are actually priced by the pound.
People really like this kind of store. They really like to find those buys out there that may have been missed at the store. So it's a really great place to find those special treasures that somebody else may have missed.
The store also serves as a distribution and donation center. Goodwill Easter Seals employs about 90 people at this new location. Coming up, one-way companies are fighting brain drain, how they are turning to retirees.
That's next in Business Matters. And then a little bit later in sports, Maple Grove finds the going tough against powerhouse Hopkins in girls basketball.
But first, snow appears in the forecast. 1 to 2 inches is possible on Tuesday.
There are shades of gray to a new study out on entrepreneurs.
A new Gallup study says adults over the age of 50 are one of the fastest growing groups of entrepreneurs in the United States. 32% of baby boomers surveyed said they want to start businesses so they can live more independently. The study also says baby boomers are twice as likely as millennials to start a business in the next year. When an employee retires, there's a certain amount of knowledge that walks out the door.
And for businesses, it's of great concern because 10,000 baby boomers reach retirement age every day. It's the reason some companies are taking action to hold off brain drain. For 33 years, Dave Tobelman walked the halls of General Mills and helped develop new products as a senior research and development manager. And Tobelman loved his job.
You work with the best of the best. And that's probably the top thing that, you remember during your career.
After retiring in 2012 at age 57, this Plymouth resident knew he would volunteer and travel, but he also knew he would work.
I had always wanted to work part-time. I thought that would really be fun.
Now 59 years old, Tobelman is back at General Mills working about 20 hours a month, thanks to Your Encore. It's a staffing firm that specializes in providing companies with experienced technical and business experts.
It's amazing the loss that's taking place at a lot of technically based companies.
Jim Kamen helps stave off that brain drain by placing workers with 25 years or more of experience in companies to work part-time. Kamen says experienced workers bring a perspective that can help younger employees avoid repeating company missteps.
Well, it's a tremendous sense of history and knowledge and enables those younger workers to accelerate that development or implementation that they're going after for the company.
Intellectually, it's still very stimulating. I mean, people have problems and there aren't simple answers.
For Dave Tobelman, the flexibility of working several hours each week at General Mills, consulting and providing historical background on different projects is a dream retirement job. The gig allows him time to volunteer hundreds of hours as a master naturalist at the University of Minnesota and also travel with his family. which puts Tobelman in the driver's seat of his retirement.
In addition to doing this work, I get to do a lot of other things that I'm interested in, and that's the kind of life I wanted.
The staffing firm mentioned in the story primarily places experienced workers in companies that represent consumer products and also life science industries. Coming up, the reason for all the freezing in Maple Grove.
But first in sports, action from section tournament play in girls hockey. John Jacobson has your highlights coming up next. John Jacobson with sports now. Hockey playoff time is already here. Playoffs started for girls over the weekend, and the winners have another round on Wednesday.
Yeah,
right?
another round this week, and the section finals all later this week, and berths in the state tournament. Section tournament play is underway in girls hockey in Minnesota. Many of our local teams skate in Section 6AA. We're down to the Final Four after quarterfinal games on Saturday. Number 3 seed Wayzata taking on Armstrong-Cooper. Down 2-0. Armstrong-Cooper strikes. Jessica Halverson redirects the shot from the point. It's a power play goal, pulling the Wings within 2-1. Wayzata responds, though, as Sophia Shaver carries it up the wing and follows her own shot to score on the rebound. The Trojans lead 3-1 after 2 periods. And they get the only 2 goals of the third. It's off a defender, and Allie Wiedela gets the second deflection for the goal, and the Trojans win it 5-1. Also in the quarterfinals, it's 4th seed Hopkins over 5th seed Benilde St. Margaret's 2-1. Number 2 seed Maple Grove rolls past number 7 North Metro for an 8-1 win. In the semifinals Wednesday, Hopkins meets top seed Minnetonka at 5:30, followed by Wayzata against Maple Grove at 7:30. The winners play Friday in the championship ball games at Parade Ice Garden in Minneapolis. Champlin Park's girls are the number 4 seed in Section 5AA. The Rebels met Irondale in the section quarterfinals. Down 1-0. Champlin Park's Kaylee Martinson stopped on the backhander, but Abby Dokken is there to knock the rebound home, and it's 1-1 after a period. Ahead to the third and a power play for the Rebels. Martinson across to Kaylee Wood. Her shot off a stick and in. Champlin Park goes in front 2-1. Irondale, though, ties it up, and we go to overtime. And then the same duo strikes. Martinson across to Wood. Her shot is inside the pipe for the game winner. Champlin Park advances to Tuesday night semifinals against Centennial. The Hopkins girls basketball team remains ranked number 1 in Class 4A. The Royals took care of yet another opponent when they tipped off with Maple Grove. A great first half for Hopkins. Ashley Bates ahead to Nia Holly, who misses the layup, but Bates is there for the rebound, put back and one. Royals lead at 11-2. TT Starks gets the steal here and takes it back the other way on her way to a 16-point night, part of a 21-0 run for Hopkins. More transition basketball for the Royals. Holly takes it strong to the hoop. She scores and is fouled. The junior tops all players with 17 points. Mary Eckberg scores a 3-pointer late in the first half for Maple Grove. She nets 9 points in the game with a Crimson trail at halftime 50-18. Second half, Dee Dee Winston gets the steal. She'll set up Variah Livingston on the break for a layup. And the Royals win at 74-43. Hopkins is now 20-1 this season. Champlin Park's boys basketball team enters Monday night's game against Edina with a 22-0 record and the number 1 ranking in Class 4A. The Rebels are featured this week on Channel 12 Sports Jam. Here's a clip from that story. The 2015 Rebels feature 6 seniors on the roster, 3 of them starters. Veteran, experienced leaders nicknamed the Triplets: JT Gibson, Marty Hill, and Jeremy Johnson. Guys who grew up in the community playing together.
JT and Marty, they're definitely 2 of my best friends. You know, we've grown up together. I consider them my brothers. And even the other seniors, you know, Nick Hayes, Jonathan Johnson, Patrice Mosumo, we've all played basketball together since middle school, since we were little kids. So, I mean, it's been great watching them grow. They love watching me grow. You know, it's just been a blast, and I can't wait to see what happens from here on out.
Our friendship off the court definitely helped us on the court. I mean, it's big, so we communicate well, and we just kind of know where each other will be on the floor. So.
Watch the rest of that story and much more this week on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12 and 12.tv. That's a look at sports for today.
Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, the shock of the cold and the thrill of accomplishment.
The polar plunge that was worth the shivering when we come back. For more than 800 people, it was a great day to take a plunge into an icy cold lake and raise money for Special Olympics.
The temperature was close to 40 on Saturday as they lined up on the ice at Fish Lake in Maple Grove. Photojournalist Ben Kroll put together this look at the reason for the freezing.
7, 6. It's our second weekend of the Polar Plunge season. 3. And here at Maple Grove, 1. We have a fabulous site. So excited! Everybody's raising money for Special Olympic athletes. Wow. And for the different programs, we'll have probably close to 800 to 900 plungers today, and so we're really excited.
3, 2, 1.
I'm so excited. We raised a lot of money.
I do bowling, basketball, floor hockey, track and field, and bocce ball. I've been on the Special Olympics for 11 years. It's an amazing experience. It gives me the opportunity to compete in sports.
This goes on in every state around the country. Our plunges happen to have a little bit more dramatic, effect to them than, let's say, Florida or Arizona, right?
It's fun to watch, though. It's fun to watch.
Those guys are going to take a good dip.
You'll see a lot of people with costumes or team uniforms, and that's the really fun part.
Me and my friends don't call the water cold. We call it refreshing. It means a lot to me because there's just some high schools out there that don't allow kids with disabilities to join them in their sports.
So we'll have 20 different plunges this year that are in different communities, and it absolutely raises a lot of money, and we are so lucky for that.
The Polar Plungers raised, get this, nearly $150,000 from the Maple Grove event. Refreshing is what they call it, right?
Refreshing.
Sure.
Yeah, it is a big money raiser. I think last year they said they raised across the state more than $3.5 million from polar plunging. So.
And neat to see some of the athletes talk about what it means.
Cool.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and we'll see you again tomorrow.